Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zest to Zen with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that will take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, I am absolutely thrilled to welcome the most beautiful Eleonora Gendelman, an inspiring force whose journey blends creativity, resilience, and transformation. Born in Ukraine and raised across Europe, Eleonora's path took her from a successful modeling career and fashion design with iconic brands to discovering yoga as a life-changing practice. Now based in London, she's a teacher, a mentor, a movement innovator who combines powerful physical practice with mindset mastery. Wow. Her journey from surviving to thriving is fueled by training with visionary leaders like Gabby Bernstein, Joe Dispenza, helping her empower others to unlock their unlimited potential. Eleonora reaches thousands globally through her podcast, Bending Reality, and her immersive Envision retreats, creating spaces for deep connection and transformation with a mission to elevate consciousness and inspire mastery of the mind. Today, I am absolutely honored and to welcome the most beautiful soul, Eleonora. Hi, Eleonora, how are you?
Hi, Shel Marie. Hello. I'm very excited and very happy to be here and looking forward to our conversation and what we will create.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for such an amazing introduction. Yeah, thank you.
You are so welcome. And before we begin, I actually just want to reveal a little bit about how we connected. So I actually contacted you originally because of your painting that I saw on your LinkedIn. And what it was is I really want to honor and share the stories of people walking all different lives with all different stories. So for me, I'm just very much looking at just you as a painter, seeing this incredible painting that you've created and thinking, I just want to speak to this amazing painter. And then you, Missy, all of a sudden you accept and you send me your bio, and then I'm like, what, she's been on the walkway, like she's been a model, she's been with iconic brands, and I'm reading and I'm just like, and this shows life when we really don't control the situation and we just trust in the knowing. And I knew that I wanted to connect with you on such a much smaller, and it's not anything to do with just being an artist. An artist is such a powerful thing, but I focus on something so different to the entire outcome of how this has actually come into fruition. So I think it's absolutely beautiful. So thank you for that. So with that in mind, I would love to know just whatever comes through now, whatever you feel like sharing about your incredible journey, particularly the words surviving to thriving, because I think those words alone are very, very strong, impactful words.
Yes. So, thank you so much for connecting. And yeah, I agree. It's always when we are open to something that is even bigger than what we can imagine, than what we can imagine with our limited minds, then things happen, miracles happen, and people come into your life and you're like, wow, it's even better. I couldn't even imagine. But important part of my journey, and I guess when you mentioned surviving to thriving, is obviously opening yourself up to receive.
Yes.
Opening yourself up to, to be able to see the opportunities, to see the doors that are open, that are actually already open around you. And we are just kind of like in our box and feeling very stuck and very attached to our identity, who we are, and we can't see those things. And once we are like, oh wow, it's been here the whole time and I didn't see it. So anyway, surviving to thriving, it is, I think it's kind of like never ending journey. And once you uncover some some of the limiting beliefs that hold you back or that did hold you back for so long, and you're like, wow, what else? Where else?
Yes.
Where else did I feel like, like I never thought of myself of like being a victim or being a people pleaser. And then at some point I was like, wow, I actually was without even realizing.
I hear you.
I was like, I was blaming, things and people and London. Like I moved to London. I love this place, but then I moved out, let's say, somewhere else twice. Like, oh, London is this and this and this and this. And then every time I, came back twice and I realized, you know what? Everything I blamed on London, it was actually I created all of it.
Wow.
I don't need to do this. So yeah, it's big part of the journey and transformation is to take responsibility for everything
Absolutely.
that you have created in your life. And even if it doesn't feel great sometimes, responsible for this.
Most of the time.
I mean, it's not me, but yes, like the thing is, like once you take responsibility for literally everything without like saying, oh, it's my parents or whatever, I'm just like this and this and this. Once you take responsibility, this is where you take your power back, and this is where you're like, okay, now that I own everything,
Yes.
I can change it. Because all the things you blame, they can't change it for you. So once you're like, okay, I'm responsible for literally everything, and I can start and change everything if I want to.
Thank you for that. That's so powerful and so important. And you're speaking to the mirror right now, like 100%. Like, yeah, there was me again thinking like, and it was him, and it was this, and it was that, and it's this place, and it's like, it follows you. It follows you in a different person. It follows you in a different scenario. It follows you in a different location. And then there's only so much we can keep saying it's someone else, and it's, the same person following us around. Myself. So, and someone once powerfully told me this, and now when I know this, I really try to remind myself of this, of when you point the finger out, you have three pointing right back at you. And that was just so powerful to me. And I remember saying that to a child once, and they were like, what about if I point like this? And what about if I point like this? And even that was like a lesson in itself, because children just constantly are trying to find solutions, and like they obviously miss the wisdom behind it, but it just makes me laugh as well. So with that in mind, I always really love that saying as well, with that in mind, which is so hilarious when we realize everything is all mind to start with aligned action. Do you have any practical tools that really helped you or are continuously still helping you? Because I love also what you said and people really need to hear this, like, it is not a tick done destination. It is ongoing, showing up every single day. So I really appreciate that. So yeah, with that in mind, do you have like practices? Because I know you do yoga and things like that. Do you have any practical tools or tips that you could share with some people?
Yes. So actually many different tools that I kind of discovered throughout my journey that helped me. And I also share, and my teaching is influenced by all of it. That's why it's kind of what I teach is a combination of movement and mindset. And what I also want to add to what I previously said in terms of moving from surviving to thriving, or moving from some kind of state to a different state, it takes a decision. So very important part of this, at some point you just need to be like, I decide no more. This was for me. Like, yes, you notice, you kind of like, whatever you focus on, energy flows where your focus goes. And once you start to focus on things outside of you, things that you can't control, and it's kind of like a cycle, and this and this and this, and then you just need to decide, okay, no more. I'm not entertaining those thoughts anymore. I'm not entertaining negative thoughts anymore. I'm not doing this and this. It's, you have to decide, and then you're like, okay, no more. So this was a important part, is still an important part at some point. When you notice your old identity or your limiting beliefs, and you're like, well, pause. No more. So
Mm-hmm.
no more of this. This is not
Yes.
part of me anymore. So this is kind of like part of the process. Obviously, back to my tools, meditation is a big part of the tools,
Mm.
to become aware of those unconscious beliefs and thinking, so you can actually pause and observe yourself. So you're not just reacting, but you're actually, oh, okay, my brain is just giving me suggestions that actually are not part of my reality anymore. This is not who I am becoming. This is not who I want to be. This is not me anymore. My brain just likes familiar, just likes to be comfortable, just likes to survive, because this is what brains do. They like to find, all things that make us comfortable and how can I survive and all the things. Brain doesn't want to go and achieve something actually because it's uncomfortable. It's like, oh wow, this is new.
It's the unknown, isn't it? It's the unknown.
Yes.
So it likes to problem solve, and it's like, I don't know the answer to that. No.
Yeah. Stay small. Do what you know. Fine. It's working. It's just
you're doing great. No.
No more. Exactly. And it's the brain and also your body is used to the same chemicals, to the same emotions that are familiar but are actually not even serving you anymore. So sometimes when you're like, I love, the people pleasing feels so familiar and so comfortable. Even if it doesn't serve me, it's just your body is like, wait, give me the people pleasing. It feels, I know this feeling. So you have to kind of like detach yourself from like, no, that's not me. So meditation, daily meditation is a big part of my toolbox, to stay in this positive, elevated state, where we can be aligned with who we actually are. Meditation, movement, yes, yoga, but also it's my yoga practice evolved into different kinds of movement, breathwork, journaling, self-talk, affirmations. So all of this kind of in combination and depending where I am, what I need. But the main part is so just catching myself, where I'm like, okay, this is not the state I want to be in. This is not how I will attract what I want. Catching myself and then shifting my state to where I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling great. Everything is great. I don't need all the lack mentality. So where I on purpose elevate myself or shift my state to this more elevated.
Absolutely. And there's two things in what you said that I'd love to comment on. So the first one is how I love, which you've completely said, it goes back to the self. No one is here to save us. We can listen to those motivational speakers. We can read that book. We can do that course. But essentially, we have to make the decision. So I love that. Something that I just noticed is the theme that you kept bringing up. And the other thing that I really loved, because I think there's a lot of this like 3 ways to do this, or write this 265 times and put this alarm on, and just stop. Just everybody stop. Yes, because like what we know, what we believe, essentially we receive, I feel. So if we believe that we have to go back and write something 365 times in order to receive something, well, there's an element of truth in that because you're creating that. But if you're doing that and you're not feeling that like excitement and like, wow, this is gonna happen, and you're like, okay, just 280 more to go, it's probably not for you. So I really love that, and this is not like, please correct me if I didn't hear it right, but I really love that you said sometimes breath work, sometimes this, sometimes that, because we're not supposed to be a robot. It's not supposed to be, right, wake up at this time, do this, do this, do this. It's like, okay, stop. What am I feeling today in my body? What is going for a walk going to be the best thing for me? Is that, if that music's irritating me, then maybe not dancing right now is the right thing for me. Because, okay, no, remember, I like dancing. No, that's not really going to help me right now. So I love that it's going back to self, knowing yourself and what works for you. So I really, if I heard it right, I really love that you expressed that.
Yes. Yeah, yes, definitely. So it's kind of, like throughout your journey, you learn a lot of different tools from whatever trainings you do, whatever workshops you do. And then you kind of, it's like trying on a new dress. And then you try
Yeah.
it on and you're like, oh, it fits. Or sometimes you try it on and you're like, no, it's actually not for me. And then you have, like your wardrobe that works. And then sometimes you're like, oh, that's the vibe. This is what I need right now. This is what I need. So you have the toolbox with all the different tools. And then you're like, okay, what is it for me now? I
Mm.
just need to sit down and be still. Do I need to like shake it out? Do I need to,
Yes.
do handstands, whatever? But it's kind of like you have, it's definitely through a process and through a journey. And it's
Mm.
also not something that will work, like, hey, this is the magical 21 thing. No, it's your journey. You
Yes.
have to go through it. You have to try it on. You have to see what works for me. Everybody's different. We all have different experiences. We all have different brains. We all have different things. So it's
Yes.
nobody
Beautiful.
it for us, and it's all your own toolbox that might work for you. So yeah. And another thing that you also mentioned, yes, try like doing all the things, knowing why you do them is very important. So it's
Yes.
why
Yeah.
do them? Why am I actually doing that? And also, checking in with yourself. Does it actually work? Or, like,
Mm.
and also another thing is you want to just doing without the feeling is actually not useful.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's really powerful. I noticed that because it's tapping into the heart, isn't it? It's and this is just something for me, and it is by no means saying that, I'm some exceptional singer or anything, but I noticed for me, when I was just saying it, and maybe this goes back to being a child, and when I was a child, I loved the singing and the dancing, and it really, I didn't know, but like lit up my heart. So I noticed that when I take something and I kind of make it creatively into a song or something, I feel that in my heart, because then it's like, oh, this feels good. This feels fun. Because I think there's also that element of joy and fun. Like, I feel like sometimes it's like this whole creating what you want should be like tough and waiting, and I'm like, I just don't entertain that. Like what you said, no, I get to pick. I don't want to entertain that. I actually want to think that it's not going to take a long time and it's not going to be hard work. Like I actually feel like I can do something like this where I love speaking to people and I believe in my vision, and that goodness will come from me tapping into something I love for the greatest good of someone else, and something beautiful happening from it. Why does it then have to be, oh, I have to now do it this way because that's how it should be done? No, you do it from a place that feels good for you. What do you think about that?
I love this. And I so much agree with that because we are conditioned in so many ways, or we are manipulated in so many ways to do things a certain way. It's like money is hard, you need to work hard, blah, blah, blah. I 100% believe the universe actually does not want us to work hard and survive and be miserable and be sad and cry. It's not.
I
I'm
do.
100% convinced. And it's been a journey for me as well. I'm 100% convinced our job is to enjoy what enjoy what we do. Our job, this is where we are actually in the state, in that frequency and in alignment with who we actually are and what we are supposed to do here in this earth. We are supposed to enjoy, to love what we do, and to celebrate life.
Yeah.
To celebrate ourselves and to celebrate life. And this is, you notice like when you're in the state, things just flow and you're like, wow, this is how it's supposed to be. It's not just supposed to be sometimes. It is the flow. It is the life. It's just we are conditioned to like, oh no, we need to be busy, we need to be productive, we need to do this, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Who created this definition?
Yeah, exactly.
Like honestly, like I agree with you. Like I create my own definition of like what is my natural state. I'm like, I define how my life should be. I define how my relationship
Mm-hmm.
be. I define how I make my money. I define, it's just some kind of belief that somebody
Yes.
told us or somebody or TV or whatever, and we are like, no, this is this way. And you're like, what? Let's question. Let's question all the things. No.
Yeah. And one thing I saw, which I think feeds beautifully into that, is I noticed that you harness obstacles as opportunities, which is something I'm really passionate about. Because, and I'd love to know your opinion on this. So, what I've personally noticed is that even when I have this like no tolerance, like I know what I'm going for and I will achieve it, regardless of the in my ears and the comments and stuff. I realized that just before that breakthrough, often, and I'm not again creating this into someone's life, this is just something I've noticed in my life. And it's not again that I'm expecting it. It just we do have to have some element of earning it, because if everything just came like this, we wouldn't respect it and we wouldn't value it. So there is this like, do you really believe in that? And so what I personally notice is it's almost it's the opposite way around. It's not the calm before the storm, it's the opposite. So I find that the moment I say no, I make that decision, I will have almost everything of the opposite come, just to really check if I really believe this. And I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Okay, proactive, not reactive. Proactive, not reactive. And I'm like, whoo. But this is so. Reading about you saying harnessing obstacles into opportunities, is that similar to what you believe, or is there something else you would like to add to that?
Yes. So I do think. Well, first, yeah, the universe sometimes to test you. You're like, do you really want this? Do you really want this? And then the second, what I think is, it's kind of all those obstacles. Like, obviously, it comes back to your mindset. You're like, I have the mantra.
Clear and
Like, I
cleanse.
know it's always working for me. It makes me like, the universe gives you all those obstacles so you can become that version of yourself that is
Yes.
ready for that thing. So you learn how to overcome it, and then you're like, oh, I needed to do all of that. Like, how many times we look back and we are like, of course, it made so much sense now that I,
Yeah.
struggled with this and this, or that I didn't get this job. And like, of course, it makes so much sense. In
Mm-hmm.
the end, when you look back, obviously in the process, it feels
Yeah.
like nothing is happening. But now, once you kind of like realize, whatever happens is always happening for me. And once you realize, you know what, it is always working out. It is always working out. That's the process. It is always working out. But also another thing what I want to mention is sometimes we are like, okay, I want to achieve this, blah, blah, blah. And then we kind of like, no, I want it now and today. And we push and force. And then you kind of notice you are out of alignment of like,
Yes.
no, it's just, it's kind of like hard for no reason. And you're like, sometimes we need also to like get out of the way because there's a better way.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. And I always think back to this picture I saw of basically it's a child, and whether it's Jesus, Yeshua, whoever we want to say holding it, that's irrelevant. It's the visual, okay? And what it is this child is really upset and crying because they want this teddy. They want this teddy, and behind his back is a much bigger teddy. And it's like, you can have this teddy, you can go full steam ahead for that teddy, but you don't know what one I have for you. So I think also I really love that you said that, because it's like, yeah, we can push, we can force, and we can be like, no, I want this now, and you can receive it now, but it might not be how you want to receive it. So I really love that as well. I think is that there's that, just that knowing, okay, I've planted the seed, I've took aligned action, and just know. And I think that's what I like to call more the feminine energy of it. It's done. Just trust and believe it's done. I'm not gonna now catch up on that email or send that again or chase that up. No, I feel like I have done everything I could do. And I think that's very important as well. I'm not also sitting in your house and just being like, it's just gonna come. No, you do need to take action. But I think just that knowing of it's done. and it is going to come, and it's going to come in the most perfect way. So thank you for that.
And also just to add to this, I agree. And also just to add to this, once you know, okay, I've done everything I could, and you know that it will be this or something even better.
Yes.
Okay, it will be this or something even better. And then I'm like, oh my God, this is what I want, but there is something even better. Oh my God.
Yes.
Either this or even better. That's cool.
Yes.
And
that's really, really, really important, because I'm a big person on intention, and what you said, it might be that little switch, but it's so powerful. And I also can remember something we said earlier, and I was going to comment on it, but it just feels really relevant now, of never giving yourself a full stop, always leaving with a comma. So like, even if like someone asks me something that maybe I've not quite done yet, or even if I'm not even sure if I want to, I never leave with a full stop of like, no. I'm always kind of like, I haven't yet. Oh, I'm not sure about that yet. And I like to leave with a comma, because I leave it open then to invite it in. Whereas I think we kind of give these absolutes, and we kind of cut ourselves off sometimes. I think not necessarily, not always, but I just always like to keep the energy, feel like the energy's flowing, and keep it open. So just something else that I noticed that I would love for you to talk about, because I feel like that's really relevant, is you encourage intentional living, vision setting. Could you like talk a little bit more about that?
Vision, in terms of visualize, well, let me know if it answers your question, but I do have quite often conversations with my past self, my present self, and my future self.
Checking on you all. You all okay? Is everyone good? Yeah, we're all good. Okay, let's go.
So the vision, obviously, it is very important to know what you actually want.
Yes.
Because
clarity is key.
Yes, we know manifesting work. It just works if we want it or not. So it's better to know what you want, and it's better to also, now at some point I was like, oh, it really works. Why am I thinking so small? Like, if it's actually, why am I not dreaming so super big? Like, the universe doesn't care about the, how big your goal is. Like, let's just go for it. Let's just go for it and imagine the craziest version of yourself and the craziest vision. And I love another thing is like, which is visualizing the vision, or like imagining the vision. And then you dream and visualize, and then, well, but what is the vision? Imagine the vision beyond your vision.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And then you're like, oh my God, it can be bigger. What else? Like, it can be bigger. And then you can just go and explore, and you're like, then you come back to your first vision, and you're like, wow, why am I thinking so small? There's so many options and opportunities to dream and explore. And as you mentioned before, it's like what we, if we believe in something, our energy flows towards that.
Yeah.
And this is what we create. It doesn't matter if other people believe. It doesn't matter if it's true, if it's real. We can create it just by believing.
And one thing that I would just love people to do, whether they believe this or not, it's irrelevant, like what you've just said. I just want you to just step aside and just see this beautiful person in front of you, and how when she's speaking, she lights up. And that's what we're talking about, going into your heart. And there's that childlike wonder in that. That's like what children do. And it's not saying that we're childish, we're immature, anything. It's nothing to do with that. But you're telling me that when you see someone expressing themselves and in their heart like that, literally glowing, by the way, you're absolutely glowing, you don't want a piece of that? I just think sometimes, regardless of the words people are using, whether they say universe, whether they say God, but whatever we want to call it, it doesn't matter about the words. Just think about the energy and the life that someone is living. And it's like, you want a piece of that? Usually people are revealing the keys, the gems in what they're saying, and give it a go. You never know what will happen. So on that note, I always like to ask, because I feel like you've touched this already, but like thinking about your vision for the future or just any final words that you feel just from like just something within you right now that you feel like maybe someone listening right now would really need to know, or even your speaking your vision of the future, I think really powerfully into existence. Whatever you want to do, just to conclude.
To conclude, oh my God. You know what? I am currently in the process of, I feel like I am in the breakthrough. I'm not in the breakthrough, but I am the breakthrough, obviously.
Yes.
So, you know what? Is what I would say where I am currently is there's nothing that feels better than being so true to yourself and who you are, and just do whatever brings you joy in the most authentic way who you are, because this is how you will create the most impact in the world. Just being 100% authentic you. Do what you love. Do what you really stand for. And this will just inspire other people to do the same. And if the whole world, if people are just doing what they love and what brings them joy, this will change the world. And like everybody, it's just by you and by everybody, just it takes some courage, it takes some time to like connect. Who am I actually? Can I remove all the layers of conditioning, limitations, victim mentality, people pleasing, and can I just be as crazy as I am, like, without thinking, oh my God, what are gonna people think about me? If I want to dance, just dance, sing, whatever, but like, if you show up as your authentic self, everybody's like, oh my God, I can be myself too. And like, how cool is this? Absolutely. Like everybody's just like, there's no judgment, there is no comparison. Everybody just does what they love. I mean, I guess this is this is my would be my message, and it's something we don't actually it's not easy, I don't know, but it's like it is worth it to do to go through the journey of exploration. Who am I? Why am I here? How do I want to inspire people? How can I be more of myself?
I love that so much. Thank you so much. And I think often in those quite damaging wordings of like just grow up and all this, they are all actually the gems, because it's in that I want to dance, so I'm going to dance. I want to sing, so I'm going to sing. And not doing it from a way of disrupting other people's peace and making it about yourself. We're not talking about it from an egoic perspective. We're talking about it from a, when you just sense you're sat in the room and you see everybody's feeling they want to do something, but everyone's waiting for the first person. Be that first person. Do it. And then you will lead the way for others to have permission to do the same. And I love that. So thank you so much. It's been an absolute blessing speaking to you. And I'm definitely going to have another look back at your website and all you've achieved. I'm so inspiring, and your pictures, I will leave all the details in the notes, but please go on her website and you look at her photography and things she's creating. There is power in those poses. So powerful. I love them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an amazing and fun and joyous conversation. And thanks so much for connecting again.
You are so welcome. Thank you. Bye.